Hello. Welcome to the graduating doctoral class of 2021. Welcome families, friends, faculty, and honored guests. This is a momentous day for our students, and it's been a most difficult year and a half. And yet, here they are today. They've persisted, they've pursued their dreams, and they've provided support to one another. As a class, the 2021 graduates not only persevered, but somehow they managed to thrive. My congratulations to all of you, and my deep acknowledgement to family and friends in the audience who supported and sustained them on this journey. My name is Dr. Barbara Henderson, and I'm humbled and honored to be the director of this doctoral program in educational leadership here at San Francisco State University. This is my 5th year of directing the program, and I do so with the support of Dr. Andrea Goldfine, graduate coordinator, member of the executive committee, and chair of the admissions committee. Dr. Goldfine took the lead in organizing today's event, and I thank her for all that she's done to make today so special. While I wish deeply that we might have been able to have this graduation event in person, I'm glad that we're able to use this virtual platform to gather and acknowledge this extremely important rite of passage for our graduates. Let me tell you a little bit about what it means for these graduates we are honoring today. As those of you close to the students know probably all too well, the doctoral program is a rigorous and fully immersive educational experience. Students are enrolled full-time. That means 9 units each semester, including summers, for 3 full years. At the same time, students are employed, nearly always full-time, and often in positions with a level of leadership responsibility that their work hours are well more than full-time. Full-time students, full-time employed. Somehow, these graduates have managed to juggle this impossible schedule. They are superheroes. Let me tell you a little bit about some details of this program these students have just completed. The journey through our program begins with courses on leadership, educational theory, and research methods. By the spring of their first year, students are completing their qualifying exam, or QE. This is the first milestone of the program. Then in the summer and their second fall semester, students are recruiting and then finalizing their dissertation committees, all while enrolled in classes on leadership, pedagogy, and more research methodology. By spring or summer of their second year, students schedule a meeting with their full dissertation committee to engage in dialogue and to create a meeting with their full dissertation committee to critique and provide feedback on their dissertation proposal. The proposal sets up the problem of practice they'll study in their dissertation, locates this work in the broader field of education, and describes the research methods in depth. Once students pass their proposal evaluation, they dive deeply into their dissertation studies. Beginning in summer and intensifying through the fall and spring they've just gone through, students devote huge efforts to their dissertation. They're essentially writing a book. It's a book full of their own ideas, original thoughts, analysis, and insights, and recommended practice. In the spring or summer, doctoral students complete and defend these dissertations. Again, the dissertation committee assembles and engages in dialogue and critique. This year, having all the dissertation defenses on Zoom made it easier for students to invite an audience to view and take part in these meetings. And I know that some of you were able to do this and to be there at those special events, this final milestone of the doctoral journey. I want to take a moment here to acknowledge the quality, the depth, and the range of topics that our graduates have addressed in their dissertations. We will hear a little bit about each graduate and their work from the dissertation chair in the hooding ceremony that will conclude this ceremony. For now, I want to say that this group of dissertations exemplifies the missions and the meaning of our program. These dissertations center around equity and social justice. They are documents of leadership, of advocacy, and of insight. They provide roadmaps for praxis that will reform the leadership of educational systems in California, from early childhood education to the K-12 systems, both public and private, to the community colleges, to four-year colleges and universities. Congratulations for all you have done and for all you will accomplish now as doctors of education. Congratulations, class of 2021. We turn now to Dean Cynthia Grutzik, who will provide a welcome and acknowledgement of your work. Dean Grutzik, would you please turn your camera on and speak? Thank you.
Yes, with pleasure. Good morning, everyone. It is so wonderful to see these screens full of faces. Greetings, new doctors, families, friends, faculty, staff, and colleagues. On behalf of San Francisco State University and the faculty and staff of the Graduate College of Education, let me offer my heartfelt congratulations for your accomplishments that we're celebrating here today. You've done what few have been able to do, with courage and conviction, carving the time out of your busy careers and lives to deeply examine the most significant issues and most persistent problems of our education systems, to push yourselves further than you thought you had the strength for, to form professional networks that will last your whole careers, and ultimately to bring the change that you are best positioned to enact as highly skilled educational leaders in early childhood, PK-12, and higher education settings. I know you've done this with a team behind you, and I can see it in some of your pictures. Your cohort, your families, your friends and colleagues. Let's take a moment to say our thank yous to them right now. Thank you. Big hugs that we can't see happening, I'm sure. I want to say a special thank you to your faculty, as I saw their names on your slides just now. This group of faculty comes from every college in the university, including the Graduate College of Education, and they have put in so much time and heart into this work. I am deeply appreciative. Special thanks too to Dr. Barbara Henderson, Director of the doctoral program, and to Dr. Andrea Goldfein, the graduate coordinator. Together, they've accomplished a lot behind the scenes this year, managing without a program analyst and taking the program through an external review process. And a shout out to all the GCOE staff who have stepped in to support the program this year, including the Dean's Assistant, Victoria Narkowitz. Let me provide some background on the EDD in California by way of context for your accomplishments. The California State University has been authorized to offer education doctorates since 2006. At that time, the California legislature recognized the urgent need for well-prepared administrators to lead public school and community college reform efforts. There are now 15 EDD programs serving over 1,000 doctoral students every year. Our program here at SF State was one of the first to be established, with the clear focus on equipping talented educators to lead institutions with expertise and effectiveness, and on advancing social justice and equity in all educational settings. Across the CSU, from only 24 doctorates awarded in 2007, last year there were 293 new education doctors who graduated from the CSU programs. With a 93% completion rate and 80% of graduates promoted during or after earning their doctorates, the CSU's EDD programs are among the most successful in the state, and I would say the nation. Doctors, we are so proud of you. We see the light in each of you. We send you forward with love and confidence, amazed at your work and excited for your next steps. Congratulations and have a wonderful celebration.
Thank you, Dean Grutzik. I so appreciate you being here today for our program and for our students. I'm next going to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Angelica Garcia, president of Berkeley City College and graduate of this program, and also, those of you in this cohort, your instructor for a course you took early in the program. Dr. Angelica Garcia will speak now via a video that she recorded for us earlier.
Buenos dias. Good morning, graduates, family, guests, and esteemed faculty and staff of the San Francisco State University Educational Leadership Program. It brings me great joy to honor the graduates on this momentous accomplishment. For 3 years, you have dedicated your energy, your time, and intellect to contribute to the research and literature on educational leadership. What a remarkable journey you have traveled, especially as you completed your final year amidst a health pandemic. Think about that for a moment. You completed your doctoral program amidst the health pandemic while sheltered in place and surrounded by the racial unrest made public all around the world. So let's make one thing clear right now in this moment. You can do hard things, and you deserve to step into the celebration of this accomplishment. This class has such a special place in my heart. I remember that fall semester when you were starting your program in your first leadership class with me. And here you are, many papers, projects, and presentations later. You are graduating and assuming your place as newly minted docs. From this day forward, you will be doctor or doctora. This recognition comes with not only the respect for your research and contributions to the field, but also with the responsibility to lead for equity, to lead for systemic change, to lead for racial justice. Each of you has played a critical role in the lives of students, be it as a teacher, an advisor, a mentor, a researcher, or an administrator. The doctorate degree doesn't change who you are or what drove you to get to this point in your career. It offers you opportunities to open doors, to impact change. Continue to be excellent in the role and in the work that you do right now, for that will set the path for your next opportunity. What we need are amazing teachers and advisors and researchers and administrators and colleagues, and you being excellent in your role right now will only serve you better for the next role. It will allow for you to see and unlock your potential as well for others to see the leadership that you can provide for a given institution. You know, upon completing this program 10 years ago, I was celebrating with my wife, my 1-year-old daughter, family, friends, and several of my students. And while you are not afforded the opportunity to celebrate in person, I'm sure you have moments that have just throughout this program that stay with you. And the moment that is forever cemented into my being is having had my mama and my wife present when I defended. As a first-generation college student, I've always benefited from the love, care, and support of my mom. And to have her present while I shared and defended came full circle for me. It was an opportunity for me to honor her and all the sacrificios and all the hard work that she did to support me. And what I realized is that I benefited from the love and support of my family, my mom, my wife, others around me, as I imagine is the same for many of you. What I also remember is that standing beside me on my graduation day were my critical colleagues, my critical homies, who endured 3 years of seeing me in some of my best and some of my darkest moments. In those moments when I thought I could not go on another term, I couldn't miss another family gathering, I couldn't miss another opportunity to be in community with with others outside of this program. And it took my colleagues, my homies, to remind me that this work was important and that I could do it. The relationships you have formed over the past 3 years are important. I encourage you to stay connected and remain as critical colleagues. This network, this community is strong and will remain as strong as you respect one another. Trust me when I say that the time will come when you will call upon someone from your class, and it works better when they actually answer. I've had the privilege of directly working with 3 colleagues from my cohort, presenting in national conferences with 2 more, and often calling on several others. I wish for you the same kind of hermandad and community amongst your own cohort. I always knew that my journey in education would be centered on students, on equity, on working for change. That's who I am, where I was from, how I was built. What I did not know was that this road would lead me to become the president of a college, president of Berkeley City College. I assumed the role over a year ago, and every day since I assumed that role, I am humbled to work alongside amazing faculty, classified professionals, administrators, students, and community members. But I'm also in awe when I draw upon different nuggets from my doctoral training, whether I'm in a college budget development meeting or a discussion with the Professional Development Committee on integrating racial equity as part of our PD framework, and especially in my weekly President's Cabinet meetings. I'm a stronger scholar practitioner because of the lessons, the skills that I learned throughout this program. And my training has been key to my foundation as an educational leader in the California community college system. During my time in the program, I was in a 4-year institution working on supporting students of color, predominantly first-gen students, low-income students, to have equitable access to higher education. And it was during my time in this program when I realized my calling to work within the California community college system. And I'm grateful that I learned from others to show me that there was this entire system with which I could work alongside others and be in community with others to make change happen. Our educational system and the students in which it serves are lucky to have such committed, passionate, and trained scholar practitioners to advance institutional reforms. Remain firm in your conviction to lead and fight for change, for racial justice, for equity, for inclusion, for success. The future of our community and democracy is in better hands with you out there in the world doing your thing to improve the educational experiences of students. On this day, I celebrate you, I honor you, and I honor those on whose shoulders you have stood upon to reach this goal. Hermanos y hermanas, welcome to the alumni family. You are joining the ranks of EDD graduates, and we are pleased to call you colleagues. I would like to leave you with one of my favorite quotes from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. Be people of integrity, be firm in your values, and have conviction to know that the work that you do to lead, to walk alongside, to take on challenges and obstacles is so critical for our community. Enjoy your day and celebrate to your very core what this accomplishment means to you.
Thank you, Dr. Angelica Garcia. That was so moving. I appreciate the time you took to prepare and to present for us. I want to turn now to our next presenter, Dr. Isauro Escamilla Calan, who is our distinguished student. The distinguished student is an honor that each program is able to confer on one of its graduates. And let me just tell you, all of these graduates were worthy of this. But Isauro is a wonderful person to have won it. And I am so proud and humbled by his work and by the talk that he's going to give right now. So thank you. And I turn now to Dr. Escamilla.
Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. Thank you so much, Dr. Henderson. Thank you very much, Dr. Andrea Goldfein and our Dean, Dr. Cynthia Grutzik. Thank you so much for being here, and to Professor Angelica, and to all the professors and faculty who have been generous with their time, their knowledge, their expertise in helping us to shape our thinking, the way that we conduct our research, and all the wonderful ideas that they have given us to transform our own communities. But before I start thanking more people, I would love to acknowledge our families, our communities, our friends, our students, everyone who has contributed on our journey to lead us to where we are today. I would like to request 10 seconds to think of that person who made a tremendous difference in your life, and to thank that person from the bottom of your heart, because thanks to that person, you are here today. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias. Me gustaría que reconociéramos a nuestros familiares, a nuestros ancestros, a todas esas personas que han contribuido a que seamos los profesionales y las personas que somos hoy. A nuestros abuelos y bisabuelos, a nuestros padres, hermanos, compañeros, hijos, sobrinas y sobrinos, tíos, alumnos y todos aquellos que han contribuido un grano de arena a nuestros estudios, a nuestra vida, a nuestro viaje. The topic of my dissertation is learning stories. Stories that children and families bring with them to our school. And there is one story told by one little boy whose name is Zaid, who touched my heart. The name of his story is La Frontera, the border. In his story, he was talking about the journey that his dad was taking to come to the US so that he could start and provide a better education for their children. Zaid, on one occasion, he said to me, mi papá emprendió el viaje rumbo al norte, cruzó la frontera, pero lo detuvieron y lo llevaron a Texas y Alaska. Zaid showed me on a map where Texas and Nebraska was. Then I asked him, le pregunté a Zaid, de 5 años, ¿qué es la frontera? What is the border? And he said, es un lugar donde te arrestan porque eres un inmigrante. A mi papá lo arrestaron porque quería ir a California para estar conmigo. He said, the frontera is a place where immigrants are arrested. My dad was detained because he wanted to go to California to be with me. I carry his story because that's the story of many of us. And perhaps we haven't crossed borders, but we have left home in pursuit of our dreams, in pursuit of our destiny. All the roads that we have taken us to where we are right now. And we want to thank every single experience we have had that has afforded us the privilege of going to school, getting an education, and changing and transforming our lives. Like Dr. Angelica was saying, and Dr. Barbara Henderson, and our dean, and all of our chairs, there is a lot to be done in education. Whether we are classroom teachers, administrators, directors, policymakers, all of us can make education the best experience for our children, the best experience for students. From preschool and even before that, as Yohana Quiroz has always said, education begins way before, in prenatal care, because children deserve the best, because people sometimes have lost their lives trying to reach this land, the US. And it's a responsibility, all of us, to ensure that we give children and families the best education possible. All of us are educational leaders. All of us have contributed our knowledge, our expertise, our research to make education a better experience for all. Like Dr. Barbara Henderson said, any one of us could have deserved this recognition. Richard, Melody, Daya, Matthew, Sam, Andrew, Elizabeth, Ellen, Iris, Yohana, Gwendolyn, Rochelle, Sylvia, Christian, Candice, Tino, Julie, Eleanor. Any one of you could have been here. I have learned tremendously from each one of you, and I want you to know, to my wonderful cohort, that I have learned a lot from each and every one of you. And of course, we have learned a lot from our faculty, from our community. And we want to thank everyone who participated in our research, who gave us an interview, who allowed us to observe their classrooms, even if online. Right now, we are on the beginning of a new idea, a new notion of education. And we are here to lead the way. We want to thank the university for this wonderful program, because now we have always been committed to social justice and equity, and now we know how important it is, and we have the tools to carry on with our mission to make education in the US and beyond the best place possible, where dreams can come true. From here, I want to say thank you, and I send you a big, big hug. Les mando un abrazo muy fuerte a mi familia, mis sobrinas. No estoy solo, estoy con mi compañera y colega, Daya. I'm not alone here. I'm here with my friend and colleague, Daya. Thank you so, so much. Let's carry on with our day. And muchísimas gracias a todos. Dr. Henderson.
Thank you, Dr. Escamilla, Calan. That was beautiful. I appreciate what you had to say about the program and about your colleagues and about the staff and faculty of the program. We turn now to the main event of today, recognition of each of you with the doctoral hood. And I want to take a moment to tell all of you in the audience a bit about the significance of the academic garb that many of us are wearing today. Academic dress originated in Europe, first appearing in scholarly institutions around the 12th century. These robes are based on clerical dress, as colleges and universities in Europe were connected with the church. Countries around the world have adopted this style of dress for academics, including in the United States. Scholars in Europe and in the United States wore these robes as their daily work attire. In the United States, apparently, at most institutions, people wore these robes until about the mid-1800s. After that, the dress became common only in special events, in particular graduation ceremonies. The doctoral robes that many of the graduates are wearing are specially marked to show the status of the achievements that the students have accomplished. The status is shown by the size of the bell sleeves, by the velvet chevrons on the sleeve, and by the style and velvet fabric of the tam or mortarboard that they wear as a hat. The light blue color of the velvet or silk chevrons or other markings indicates our field of education, which is marked by light blue in all cases. Students also often embellish their graduation attire with stoles, leis, sashes, or other objects of beauty that carry cultural meaning, and you will see some examples of this today. The placing of the doctoral hood, which is particularly elaborate with silks, velvet, and again, the light blue color to demarcate education, is done as a ritual of passage. If we were in person, this would have been placed by each graduate's dissertation chair. In this virtual setting, each of the graduates will be recognized by their chair, and then someone from home where you are viewing together will hood the graduate. We turn now to our first graduate. I invite Dr. Sylvia Rodriguez-Douglas and her chair, Dr. Laura Epstein, to turn on their cameras and audio for this first recognition.
Thank you so much, Dr. Henderson. It is my great honor and joy to introduce you to Dr. Sylvia Rodriguez-Douglas. Her dissertation title is Tricky and Intense, Examining Educators' Perception of the Ability Line in a High-Performing Independent School. Her work is a groundbreaking study of the origins of patterns of racial and ethnic disproportionality at a private or independent school. These schools are typically overlooked with respect to disproportionality, and because of Sylvia's research, they are now the focus of activist research. It has been a joy to be a part of her work. And I should also mention that Sylvia is, today is her due date for her baby girl. And it looks like the dissertation ceremony has come first before the baby. So we're so happy to have her here. And congratulations, Sylvia. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your work.
Thank you, Dr. Epstein. Thank you, everyone at home watching, and my gratitude to all my friends and family, and particularly this cohort, for their support. So I guess this is how it goes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Baby's here too. Yay!
Beautiful.
Congratulations. What a great first one to start with. I turn now to Dr. Richard Bridges and his chair, Dr. George Barganier. Dr. Barganier and Dr. Bridges, if you could turn on your cameras and microphones.
I can't. I'm trying. You see me?
Not
You
yet.
don't have a visual.
Oh, there you
Oh,
are.
there we go.
There you are.
All
All
right.
right.
I'm on the road.
All right, so congratulations to everyone today that's graduating. Congratulations to all the families out there also, because we know this is a collective effort. It's not just the individuals, but the families are graduating, all the loved ones here. So I want to say congratulations. It's an honor to get to know everyone. But I have the distinct honor of presenting you Richard Bridges, Dr. Richard Bridges, whose dissertation was entitled Examining Positive Outcomes, What Makes Black Learning Communities So Successful. I just want to say Richard has been one of the most motivated and prepared students that I've had the opportunity to work with. From the first time we met, he had a detailed outline of what he wanted to accomplish with all the dates, and he met each and every one of those dates. And I think I can speak, well, I know I can speak on behalf of his entire committee, that it was just an honor with working with him. And we were very impressed, not just by the quality of his work, but each of us felt that he found his next calling, and it was very seamless. His role as a researcher, it's going to be a very seamless transition to the role of practitioner and being a future mentor for some of these students that he met, but also his possible next career as he transitions to the next phases of his life. So I do not have the hood for you, Richard, but I'm going to present you with the honorary Kangol, and then
Hey,
we'll get the hood for you. You have someone to hood you there?
yeah,
Okay.
you know, I want to say, this has been the most amazing, one of the most amazing experiences of my life. This is the bestest cohort in the world. I just feel so supported by the university, by my cohort. Special shout out to my study buddy, Dr. Andrew King. We grounded out, and it's just that's part of the reason why I'm even on this cross country venture, is to try and figure out what I'm going to do with this now. And I do have some ideas, and I'm not going to share them with anybody right now, but you will see. But it's some good stuff. And I just want to thank you all for the part that you played in my life, and for adding. You're all part of my story right now. For those of you that know anything about me, that I came back to school when I was 40 years old, and and I've been in school every semester for the last 12 years, and it's 13 years, I'm sorry. And it's like, what a way to culminate all of this, and that's it. I don't want to take up too much more of you guys' time, but I'm grateful, and I just pray that that the world can benefit from what I have learned and what I have to give. That's it. Thank you.
All right. Congratulations, Dr. Bridges.
Thank you to all my y'all did what you did.
Congratulations. Wonderful. We turn now to Dr. Melody Chen and her chair, Dr. Yang Zhao Desai. If you could turn your cameras and your microphones on.
Okay, good morning, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to present you Dr. Melody Chen. Her dissertation is titled Racial Microaggressions and Heritage Language Identity Among Chinese Heritage Language Learners. This study explored the challenges and setbacks of adolescent Chinese Americans in maintaining their family language. It fills a research gap, but more importantly, I think it brings attention to the less heard voice of this very, very special and growing population in language education. And the timing is uncanny, happening in the backdrop of the recent surge of Asian hate crimes, making the study particularly meaningful. Melody, Dr. Chen, has demonstrated astute understanding of her data and the multilingual learners. It really has been a real pleasure to work with her and watch her transition from student to a teacher to a researcher and eventually to a great educator. I know the past 18 months have obviously been a very rough time for all of us, but I know particularly Melody herself went through many personal hardships during this time. I just want to say I'm so very proud of you for overcoming all of them and reaching this great achievement with grace, excellence, and confidence. Congratulations, Dr. Chen.
Thank you so much, Dr. Xiao Desai. I want to, oh, should I be hooded yet?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Okay, thank you. I want to use the opportunity to say thank you to my professors, especially my committee chair, Dr. Xiao Desai, my cohort, friends, and family for supporting me throughout this journey. And I want to thank my mom. Thank you for always being there. You're the best mom in the world. I love you. Thank you.
That was wonderful, beautiful.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Our next graduate to recognize is Dr. Eleanor Cundiff and her chair, Dr. Sheldon Jen. Doctors
It's my-
Chen and Cundiff, could you turn your mic? You got them on. You're ready to go.
It's my pleasure to introduce Eleanor Cundiff to you all. Ellie Cundiff has been the principal of the same Title I elementary school for the past 13 years. Title I schools are those in which at least 40% of families are low income. And in that time, she has observed a high rate of teacher turnover at similar schools where newly credentialed teachers often start their careers only to move on to other schools once they gain valuable experience. More importantly, she has witnessed the impacts on students from this revolving door of teachers at Title I schools. As a principal dedicated to her school, she focused her research on the principal's opportunities to reduce teacher attrition at those schools. Her study is titled Understanding Principals' Agency in Reducing Teacher Attrition at High Poverty Schools, a multi-case study. And in it, she developed case studies at 3 Title I schools and 1 non-Title I school to identify practices of principals to curb teacher attrition. She found that principals play a critical role in supporting conditions that teachers face on a daily basis, specifically by intentionally shaping teachers' working conditions, developing a workspace of collegiality and collaboration, and nurturing a positive school climate. Principals can reduce teacher attrition and thereby bring to students at Title I schools the benefits of experienced faculty that is enjoyed at high wealth schools. Congratulations, Dr. Cundiff.
Thank you, Dr. Chen. I just want to thank my cohort and all their valuable conversations and discussions that we shared. I'd also like to thank all my professors, including my committee, Dr. Chen, Dr. Fogo, and Dr. Myers for all their support. Dr. Chen, you were always there for me and I really appreciate it. And I hope that we can make a difference in how Title I schools are funded and get teachers to stay in the schools that need them the most. I'd also like to take time to thank my family, my brother Jimmy, my niece Morgan, my niece Shelby, my dad, who always believed that I could do anything. I'd like to thank my friends and my family. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Dr. Cundiff.
Thank you.
I'd like to now invite Dr. Dayamudra Dennehy and her chair, Dr. Marcel Santos, to turn on their cameras and audio.
Good morning. Dayamudra Dennehy's dissertation is titled Educate, Agitate, Organize, Grassroots Dalit Educators Transforming Learning in South India. This dissertation is the transformative educational story you didn't know you needed to hear. It's a wonderful testimony to the lives of 8 Dalit participants whose experiences chronicle the story of an emerging alternative learning community in South India. For those of you who don't know much about caste-oppressed peoples, one thing that I've learned and has stayed with me is the idea that members of this community were often forced to carry a broom to erase their footprints on the ground so that their presence would never be recovered. For the community celebrated in Daya's dissertation, this active claiming agentive power is both epistemic and literal. Daya's narrative inquiry has made visible the stories of minoritized learner populations. She has created a platform through which members of this Dalit community are able, in the words of Bourdieu, impose listening on others. Through Daya's dissertation, you will also discover the indelible footprints that 8 inspiring leaders and educators have to share. You will also discover the new spaces they are traversing to carve their path as educational leaders in their own right, in their new school community, in their home villages, and even on the international stage of the broader field of English language education. An adult educator once told me years ago, you can't dignify a learner just by saying, I dignify you. You have to dignify them through your actions. Daya You and your DeLitt colleagues have taught me much about what dignifying work can look like in this world. Your dissertation is a beautiful act of how dignified we need to make this DeLitt community. On behalf of DIA's committee, which includes Dr. Sheldon Jen and Dr. Mina Kim, congratulations, Dr. Dayamudra Dennehy.
Thank you, Maricel. Thank you, and thank you, Sheldon and Mina, for believing my story. And thank you to my cohort for your commitment to equity and social justice, to our wonderful faculty, and also especially to my community in India. And Isauro is going to hood me with a decolonized.
It's such an honor to play this for you, Dr. Daya.
Okay. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Dayamudra Dennehy. I now invite Gwendolyn DeWees to turn on her camera, and I'll keep mine on because I am her chair. Dr. DeWees' study is entitled Caught in the Intersection: The Educational Trajectories of Emerging Bilingual High School Students with Disabilities. Dr. DeWees' dissertation was a mixed method study of students who are dually labeled as emerging bilinguals and as students with disabilities. She looked both at quantitative data from her school, from the county, and compared it also with the District of Oakland to demonstrate her hypothesis that these students who are dually labeled are getting disproportionately the least support in their schools. She then followed it up with an in-depth interview study with faculty from the case study school to find parallels in how these faculty members thought about these students, supported them, and reached barriers as they tried to do so. This study provides an enormous set of insights for our field in a particular niche of educational studies that is underrepresented in the field. These students, through their dual designation, are often ignored or in ways that are built structurally into our schools and classrooms are pushed out when they should instead be included. Dr. DeWees, your recommendations for praxis for leaders and teachers and districts are going to make a big impact on how these students are served in our schools. And I look forward to seeing where you go next with your career, your advocacy, and your leadership. My deepest congratulations to you, Dr. DeWees. So, being hooded by your children.
Oh, can you guys see me? I'm sorry, I'm still seeing you, Dr. Henderson. Thank you so much for your advocacy and for Dr. Santos and Dr. Saunders. It has been an amazing journey. I'd like to introduce the senior Dr. DeWees, my father behind me, and his lovely wife, Jane. Moms out in New York, thank you for your support and love. And these are my children, Carlton and Sage, who are going to now hood me. Thanks, guys.
Yay.
Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful journey. Thank you to my cohort. And I look forward to our continued journey together. Thanks, Barbara.
Wow. Congratulations. Congratulations and thank you. Our next doctoral student to be recognized is Dr. Isauro Escamilla Calan, and his chair, Dr. Daniel Meyer. If you could both turn on your video and your audio.
Congratulations to Isauro for a beautiful project. His dissertation, as Barbara noted before, is entitled The Power of Learning Stories, Improving Dual Language Instruction and Teacher Inquiry in Early Childhood Education. I'd also like to thank Barbara Henderson for being on the committee and supporting Isauro's journey for so many years, and also Dr. Annie White from CSU Channel Islands. So it was an all CSU committee. So thanks to the committee. Isauro's dissertation focused on narrative inquiry and autoethnography in terms of examining the power of learning stories from New Zealand to promote critical pedagogy and multilingualism growth for teachers, for children, and families in the field of early childhood education. Isauro's project has important leadership implications for early childhood education at the policy levels and also at the curricular levels. And I'm so proud on a personal note for Isauro to reach this achievement. Barbara and I have known Isauro for over 20 years, and we have borne witness to his growth as a professional, moving through a BA, an MA, and now a doctoral program, and also your growth, Isauro, as a human being. Try not to cry. And also as a global citizen of the world. So congratulations, Isauro, and congratulations to your family here and also in Mexico. So on a beautiful job, and I continue to look forward to working with you on all the new professional adventures. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Dr. Meyer. Muchísimas gracias, Dr. Henderson, Dr. Meyer, for helping me all these many years, for supporting me. I cannot thank you enough for your guidance, your advice, for taking me places that I never thought I would be able to visit. From presenting at AERA in Chicago with Dr. Henderson, Dr. Meyer, Francis Rust, Marta Melgoza, to Palestine, to Oaxaca, to New Zealand, Japan. What I have seen is the commitment of early childhood teachers to do their best job. What I have seen is the inequities and injustices that we hope end. We are coming out of a pandemic. The virus is disappearing in the US. However, there are many other places where that is still happening. And all of us around the world, and especially the US, we need to take the lead and help as much as we can. In India, in Brazil, in Palestine, in Jerusalem, we are thinking of our brothers and sisters so that we one day can live all in peace. Our children, our young students deserve a better place, and all of us have a commitment and a responsibility to make it happen. To my cohort, I want to say felicidades, and to your families and friends and partners and children, parents and grandparents, congratulations. You should be very proud of this cohort. Muchísimas gracias. Es un honor para mí recibir tantas bendiciones de parte de todos mis compañeros. Siempre los voy a llevar en mi corazón y seguir actuando con integridad. Espero ser mejor investigador, mejor educador, mejor persona. And all of that is thanks to you and to all the experiences that I have lived. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias.
So Isauro, don't forget the hood. There you go.
Dr. Yohana Quiroz gave me this beautiful stola that has both flags from Mexico and the US. And I'm very proud to wear these. Thank you, Dr. Quiroz. Thank you so much. Now I look like Frida Kahlo, okay. Well, thank you, Dr. Daya. Thank you so much, okay. Okay, thank you. Muchas gracias.
Congratulations and thank you. Beautiful. Okay. I'm looking at the list to see who's next.
Matthew.
Dr. Matthew Espinosa is next, and his chair is Dr. Maricel Santos, and I see you're up and ready to go.
I'm so glad I wrote this down. That really broke open the buckets over here. When most people think of the word policy, images of huge white binders, dense text, and super long appendices usually come to mind. The next time you think of policy, I want you to think of Dr. Espinosa's face. His dissertation, entitled Toward Linguistically Responsive Leadership, gives us a new way of thinking about California's K-12 language policies, not as a rule of law, but an ecology of beliefs, biases, structures, actors, and most emphatically in Matt's research, language choices. The words we choose in our policies that frame the mission of educating California's English language learners. Matt says it best, and his words were on the opening slides. We teach in an ecosystem of our own design, yet also of a design not our own, where scarcity of resources is structural, not innate, and some are left to famine and others to plenty. Words matter. In the time that Matt has completed this dissertation, this phrase, words matter, has taken on profound significance in political debates and mainstream media. Matt, your dissertation speaks tremendous truth to power by showing us why words matter and how reflecting on what we say about English language learners is foundational to our work as educational leaders. On behalf of Matt's committee, which includes Dr. Yanan Fan and Dr. Adele Arellano, I would like to congratulate Dr. Matthew Espinosa.
Thank you, Dr. Santos, Marcel. You've been a beacon of hope and through a really difficult year and a lot of study. I'm so appreciative of this program. And I thought I knew a lot coming into it, but I didn't know what I didn't know. And there's so much that I feel like has been robbed of my education until I was a doctor and in this program. And it's my commitment to make sure that the realities of the way our structural inequalities and inequities are set up are brought into our K-12, pre-K-12 programs. One of the things I learned was to appreciate my ancestors in a way and their sacrifices in a way that I never would have had the opportunity to. In particular, my parents, who, as the first generation to graduate college, unfortunately, they were not able to be at any of my now 3 graduations. But I was blessed to have this family around me who has been there through this whole time and carried me through. And I hope to continue to pass that on to many generations here to come. So may we carry our heart with us in our leadership and our work, and may we continue to fight for that system and that justice and bring truth to our educational system. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Matthew Espinosa. And thank you. We turn now.
Sorry, Barbara. We didn't see the official hooding, so I think to officially make this
I am
formal,
so
we have to
sorry.
see Matt's
We're
hooding.
returning back to previously scheduled programming. Let's get back to Dr. Espinosa.
Yeah, now, yes, we want to make sure this is official. It's like turning the tassel from the left to the right to the left. Yes. Congratulations, Matt.
I was so overwhelmed by the first round of cheering that I almost missed that one. Thank you, Dr. Santos, for calling that. Congratulations again, Dr. Espinosa. Okay, we turn now to Dr. Samantha Kessler and to her chair, Dr. Sheldon Chen.
Great, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Samantha Kessler.
Can you put your camera, there you go.
Yeah, it was blocked there. Samantha Kessler has steadily risen in the field of institutional research for the last 11 years and is currently the Director of Institutional Effectiveness at Chabot College, the East Bay Community College serving 19,000 students. Her dissertation is a reflection of this institutional viewpoint on educational equity, and it showcases her abilities to drive educational reforms with sound analytics. Her study, titled The Virtual Front Door, How Digital Inequities Impact Access to Online Education, takes advantage of this natural experiment on distance learning provided by COVID-19. The pandemic forced all instruction online, giving researchers insights to students and faculty who involuntarily teach and learn online. In this context, Sam chose to focus on second-tier digital divide factors that impact student success, moving past the first-tier physical access barriers such as hardware and connectivity, and toward personal and interpersonal barriers such as social capital to navigate online learning, agency, and experience with online learning. Her study highlights that educational equity in online learning demands far more than equitable access, but also equitable supports for both teaching and learning. Congratulations, Dr. Kessler.
Thank you, Sheldon, Dr. Jen. I'm here with my daughter, who was our cohort, one of our cohort babies, and my husband, but my mom and family are watching all across the country and always supporting me every step of the way. So I don't think I can get much more out than that, other than thank you. And ready? Thanks, everyone.
Congratulations, Dr. Kessler, and thank you, Sheldon and Sam, your family. Our next student to recognize is Dr. Andrew King. I'm the chair of his dissertation committee, and the title of his dissertation is How Classroom Interactions Affect Student Engagement and Completion in Community College Courses by Race and Discipline. Dr. King's study was a very ambitious mixed method study, which used the case study of one community college and looked specifically at the disciplines of English and math, at the transfer level courses that have been affected by AB 705, but also included data from additional disciplines, including biology, political science, and history, to see which of these may or may not be addressing the ongoing educational debt built into our institutional settings. Dr. King found the rates of outcome for how students are persisting and going on with these classes that demonstrated some gains, but also showed that there is disproportionality that remains in how well students are doing by race and to some degree by discipline. He looked then at a phenomenological study of both faculty and students to understand what was beneath these numbers. His interviews uncovered a set of important themes that revealed changes that faculty are making to their instruction so that it is more inquiry-based and more welcoming to students, even in these COVID times with which he collected his data, but also how changes are not going deep enough and that too many of the interactions are transactional and that structural racism persists in the community college and greater changes must be made. Dr. King's recommendations for educational leadership, for faculty development, and to students provide some pathways for us to change the way the system is working. And Dr. King himself is taking on a leadership role again in the community college at his department level, and I'm sure soon at a higher level than that. Andrew, it was a pleasure to work with you over the past year and a half, well, really the past 3 years that you've been in the program, but the intensive work that we've done over the past 2 years on your dissertation have just been a wonderful part of my career. And I thank you for including me in this work. Congratulations, Dr. King. I hope that someone from your family behind you there, your beautiful family, will hood you and recognize this achievement. Can't hear you. We can't hear you, Andrew. Still can't hear you. Yeah. Congratulations, Andrew. I'm sorry your audio didn't work, but your beautiful family there is making up for it. Thank you and congratulations. I am so proud of you and so humbled by your work. You're the best. Okay. Thank you. I turn now to our next graduate to be recognized, Elizabeth Libby McDonagh, and her chair, Dr. Maria del Rosario Zavala.
Thank you, Barbara. It has been a pleasure to be the chair of Libby McDonagh's dissertation committee. I'd like to recognize the work of her other committee members, Dr. Violet Ballard and Dr. Daniel Meyer. Libby brings her 6 years of experience as a teacher, mostly at Prospect High School in Pleasant Hill, to her advocacy work for Latinx youth. Her dissertation is "We Were the Outcasts: Identity Development of Latinx Continuation High School Students." In it, she looks at how policy documents all the way from the state level to the handbooks that students are given at continuation high schools, how the language in those documents position students as deficient or even pathological. She interviewed recent Latinx graduates to document and explore their stories or testimonios of how they experienced continuation high school. And finally, she's looking at the intersection of policy and experience to tease out contradictions and tensions and ultimately challenge a system of second-tier education that is working very well as it was designed to funnel students labeled as problematic out of college pathways. She closes her dissertation with recommendations for reimagining how continuation high school can be a genuinely alternative experience and not play second fiddle to what students call real high school. So for many of us, there's been very little to celebrate this year, but as all the teachers and educators in this group know, teachers have been doing amazing work all year long. Schools have not been closed, they've been online. And it's in this context that we'd like to recognize that there's some good news that her cohort probably has already heard. So I just want to make sure I lift it up and out in this moment. Libby was recognized as Teacher of the Year in the Mount Diablo Unified School District. And so congratulations on that. And she will be defending her dissertation on June 30th. So send lots of positive vibes her direction on that day. So congratulations, Libby. We're so excited for all the excellent work ahead of you. Y estamos muy, pero muy orgullosa de ti. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Zavala, and thank you, Dr. Daniel Meyer and Dr. Violet Ballard. But yeah, Dr. Zavala, thank you for all your support and help as we make it to the end of this journey here. And I'd like to thank everyone in my cohort too for always being there to help me move forward, to send words of encouragement when I was feeling down. And then my family and friends who are here to support me and have been supporting me during this entire journey. So thank you. Yeah, put the. No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Congratulations, Dr. McDonagh, and thank you. We turn now to Dr. Ellen Murray and her chair, Dr. Sheldon Jen. So cameras and microphones to them.
I need the camera access, I think. There we go. Great. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Ellen Murray. Ellen's study, California's Geography of College Opportunity, Understanding Place-Based College Access and Success, extends the research on the geography of opportunity, or how the place where one lives impacts their opportunities and outcomes. She builds off the recently established research on the educational deserts and oases, which focuses on the presence or absence of colleges and universities within a prospective student's commuting distance. That body of research draws attention to the educational inequities that are at least partly due to the spatial distribution of institutions, particularly in rural areas. But Ellen hypothesizes that even educational oases with higher concentrations of colleges and universities, such as the Bay Area, do not necessarily mean greater opportunities for higher education for all students in those areas, because each institution has its own degree of access and success, such as differing rates of admission, graduation, time to graduation, and cost to degree. Ellen tests this hypothesis by analyzing the actual educational paths of thousands of Californians in a wide variety of educational deserts and oases. Her data source is the National Center for Education Statistics High School Longitudinal Study of 2009, which surveyed 9th grade students in 2009 and tracked their educational and life experiences with follow-up surveys into their adult years at 2016. Ellen sampled all California respondents and measured their actual higher education attainment of students based upon their high school geography. Her research helps us to more deeply understand the very concept of educational opportunity, especially for underrepresented student groups. And Ellen will be defending her dissertation later this summer. Congratulations, soon to be Dr. Murray.
Thank you so much. I would like to take a small moment to convey my deep appreciation for my chair, Sheldon, and my committee members, Jeannie and Lasana. A heartfelt thank you to my parents, my brother, and my partner, Justin, for their unwavering love, support, and encouragement. And finally, a huge congratulations to our cohort. We did it.
Congratulations, Dr. Murray, and thank you, Sheldon, for your kind words. So we turn now to Dr. Candice Paul and her chair, Dr. Brad Fogo.
I am thrilled to present doctoral candidate Candice Paul, a true school leader and recently appointed principal at the Oakland Military Institute. Candice's dissertation, One Caring Adult, Factors Affecting Teachers' Experiences During Social-Emotional Learning Implementation, examined how teachers took up and implemented innovative SEL practices at a Bay Area middle school and the role of school leadership in this process. Candice's findings, which are important at any time, are particularly relevant and crucial today as schools gear up for the return to in-person teaching, informing how teachers and school leaders might support students during this time of critical transitions. Congratulations, soon to be Dr. Paul, excuse me. It has been an honor to work with you on this project, and I really look forward to seeing where you take the work.
Thank you, Brad. A journey of 1,000 milestones. This has been an amazing journey, and there's been many ups and downs. But through it all, I've had the love and support of my family who are here with me today, and many of my educators, my friends who are watching online. I thank you. I accept this in honor of my parents, my siblings, and all the educators who have paved the way for me. Thank you all.
Congratulations, Dr. Paul, and thank you. I turn now to our next graduate, Dr. Iris Lynette Phillips, and her chair, Dr. Dawn-Alyssa Fisher. Thank you. You can turn on your cameras and audio.
All right. 2 years ago, Iris Lynette Phillips, sorry, pardon. 2 years ago. Hi, Dr. Phillips. Okay, so 2 years ago, Iris Lynette Smith Phillips introduced a prophetic idea that bloomed into an innovative and much needed intervention that directly addressed the parallel pandemics of COVID-19 and racism, an urgent problem of practice among education leaders. Weaving together over a century of Black scholarship on educational research, Dr. Phillips created a compelling research agenda. Framed by Black feminist discourse analysis and cyberethnography of Black feminist digital activism, her study employs a sequential mixed methods designed to provide educational leaders insight into how they can amplify the leadership, ingenuity, and power of Black women in the college setting, and to create a space where their authentic voices are centered. Again, Dr. Phillips examines image code switching, a term she created for the purposes of her study, along with her innovative image affirmation workshops. And her work serves to inform educators about the challenges that Black women college students encounter in the college setting. I want to thank Andre, the Phillips family, the Smith families, for your exceptional support and input during Iris's doctoral process. Professor Yumi Wilson and Dr. Andrea Goldfein, you've been wonderful interlocutors for this genius project by Dr. Phillips. And finally, Dr. Phillips, I find your work inspiring and important. It has been such a delight and honor working with you. And finally, congratulations on your Science, Technology, and Society Fellowship. Dr. Phillips.
Oh, hi, everyone. I'm so excited to celebrate with my cohort. Thank you, Dr. Fisher, for those beautiful words. And I must say that when I entered this program in 2018, I did not anticipate how topsy-turvy the world would be. We entered into a dual pandemic, a health crisis, as well as racial unrest. And you've just been a beacon of light walking alongside me. And I am forever grateful as you have helped guide me through this transformative process. And then finally, I want to thank my beautiful family who are here today. And I want to do a special shout out not only to my husband, Andre, but my mother and father, Deirdre Smith and Elvin Smith. Can you come up, please? Yeah. So this was my posse that walked me down the aisle in 2018 when I entered this program. And that was a huge transition in my life. And now I want to thank the same team, the same posse for being here with me as I move forward in this new step in life. And once again, thank you to my cohort. You all have been wonderful, holding my head up when I really needed it. And special thanks to my soul sister, Julie Yick-Koppel. And with that said, my dear husband, will you please now hood me? Thank you.
Beautiful. Congratulations, Dr. Phillips, and thank you, Dr. Fisher. Congratulations. We turn now to our next graduate to recognize. It is Dr. Yohana Quiroz and her chair, Dr. Daniel Meyer.
It's with immense pride that I congratulate Dr. Yohana Quiroz on her dissertation and her amazing research. Dr. Quiroz has completed a powerful qualitative research project that utilizes LAT-CRIT, testimonials, and phenomenological interviewing, which Irving Seidman, Yohana, would be super proud to read about. This dissertation provides new insights on supporting Latina leadership in San Francisco, in California, and elsewhere across the country. Yohana, it was an immense pleasure to work with you. On a personal note, I remember when we met pre-pandemic at 24th and Mission outside the McDonald's, and you drove me around to all the sites that you are in charge of in San Francisco. And to see the amazing results that you have done as an early childhood professional and as an early childhood leader in the city of San Francisco. And just with Isauro, I expect even bigger things from you, and the meetings that we had every 3 weeks with you and Isauro online over the last year have just been amazing for me and rewarding professionally. There were many times where I just sat back and the both of you just talked about your research, the coding process, and what you might do new with your dissertations completed and your degree completed. I'd also like to acknowledge the wonderful contributions on the committee from Dr. Mina Kim and Dr. Lori Scolari. So Dr. Quiroz, congratulations on a beautiful job. And congratulations to all your support system too, as well. So congratulations.
Thank you so much, Dr. Meyer. It's been a pleasure to work with you and have your support during this time. And thank you for your kind words today. I couldn't earn this degree without the support of my amazing family who is here with me today, and the support of all of my cohort and everyone who has really believed in my work and believed in my ability to even reach this level. I'm truly humbled and appreciate everyone's support and encouragement, even at times when we all felt like giving up. It has been a true pleasure, and my commitment is to continue to support Latinas and people of color, right? Women of color in leadership to ensure that we can change and transform our educational system. Again, my family is gonna have the honor, or I will have the honor as well, for them to hood me since Dr. Meyer couldn't hood me. And so now we're gonna go through the process. Thank you. Thank you all so much. It's been a pleasure.
Congratulations, Dr. Quiroz. That was beautiful. And thank you, Dr. Meyer. We turn now to Dr. Rochelle Reodica and to her chair, Dr. Alison Tintiago-Cubales.
That was perfect, Barbara. I'm just going to take a deep breath. She writes toward the end of her dissertation. Needless to say, the last 3 years have been some of the most challenging of my personal and professional life. The past 18 months have been grueling, to say the least. Navigating the COVID-19 pandemic, the continual racism and killings of Black and Brown folks, the challenges of working in a predominantly white independent school as a woman of color, figuring out how to reopen schools safely, and finding the motivation and strength to finish this doctorate. All of this pushed me to reflect on what matters most, which at the end of the day is my family and my health. She begins and ends her dissertation with herself and her family. Despite all of the challenges, Rochelle wrote a brilliant, personal, critical, compelling, and beautifully written dissertation that provided a space for voices that have never been heard in our field to finally be centered. The racialized experiences of multiracial students in independent schools, students who are often overlooked, students whose marginalization is silence, students that she personally served, and students much like her own son, Malik, who very much was the inspiration for her doctoral journey. In this entire process, working with her, Rochelle, you've always been your authentic Pinay self, and I love you deeply. I appreciate the depth of your commitment that you bring to your scholarship and in the ways that you lead. It has been an honor to serve alongside Doctors Barbara Henderson and Elizabeth Dennehy. All three of us agreed that Rochelle's dissertation was stellar. I believe that it should be used in our EDD program as a model dissertation. And I also believe wholeheartedly that her conceptual framework, the 4 I's of culturally responsive anti-racist leadership, will be used widely in our field. I told her during her dissertation dialogue, if I could give her honors, I would. It's truly about the quality in the traditional sense, but also it was critical and loving. It has been an honor to support you in your dissertation entitled In Between, Centering Lived Experiences of Multiracial Students in Independent Schools. So from one Pinay doctor to another, congratulations, Dr. Rochelle Reodica. Hello, family. I just want to say that hooding her today are 2 honorary committee members, Justin and Malik.
Please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Allison. It's been such an honor to be working with another Filipina Pinay scholar. You have really pushed me to be the best critical thinker and scholar that I could be. I also want to thank Dr. Henderson and Dr. Dennehy, who have been my support system for the last 3 years. I also wanted to thank my parents, who have always encouraged me and pushed me to just fulfill my full potential. They're watching from Florida right now, and I want to thank my East Coast and West Coast family, who are both watching, and also the village of support that I've had through this really long journey. A lot of them are here behind me. As you know, Filipinos roll deep, so there's so many people to thank. But my colleagues, my cohort, who's been amazing, my siblings, my colleagues in both New York and California independent schools, my participants and the students who have shared their beautiful stories with me so that I could do justice to their narratives. And then I want to thank God for giving me the strength to keep going when things were challenging. So it's my honor to be hooded today by my son Malik, who I am dedicating this dissertation to, and my husband Justin.
There we go. Good job, bud. Nice. Okay. Oh, okay.
Congratulations. So beautiful. Congratulations, Dr. Reodica. Wonderful to see you with your family. Okay. I turn to our next doctoral student whom we are recognizing, Dr. Christian Rubalcaba, and his chair, Dr. Ali Borjan.
Hello, everyone. It is a great joy to congratulate Dr. Christian Rubalcaba. Congratulations to all other graduates as well, and to those who were there to support them throughout this journey. This is your day. Felicitaciones a los graduados y sus familias y seres queridos. Este es su día. Congratulations to family members and friends in California and in Chicago. In diversifying K-12 school leadership through culturally responsive mentoring and sociopolitical consciousness, Dr. Rubalcaba examined the mentorship dynamic between experienced principals and teacher leaders in order to identify approaches and best practices needed to mentor teacher leaders of color into leadership positions. Christian, thank you for your dedication and commitment to quality public education. Your work will make a big impact in the future of our schools. It was a great work, and you and I will look forward to working together, I hope, in the near future. I learned a great deal from you. Thank you. My appreciation also goes to Professor Acacio de Barros and Dr. Mary Stretchley for providing valuable support and feedback to Dr. Rubalcaba. Congratulations, Dr. Rubalcaba. Loved ones, please hood Dr. Rubalcaba.
Hello, Professor Ali. Thank you so much for all of your support. I certainly could not have done this without your encouragement, your mentorship, and just your overall positivity. You offered me in my project the perfect mixture of challenge and compassion, and really exemplified the spirit of my study through our very relationship. And so I couldn't be prouder and more fortunate to have had you lead and guide my work. Major thank yous to my two other committee members who stuck through the journey even during a pandemic, and needless to say, our participants who certainly did the best to hang on. I know it was not an easy journey, and they were able to continue on with my project in the hopes that I would reveal something meaningful to contribute to the field. I look forward to our relationship, Professor Ali. It's not an end, but it's really the beginning of future projects, future conversations, and future ideas on how we can continue to push forward in this field that sorely needs culturally proficient mentors and leaders who have that social political consciousness that our students need and our educators need to push forward. I also wanted to give a major and special shout out to my brother, Professor Dr. Tino, who also is graduating in this cohort. As I mentioned in my acknowledgements, Tino, we started off like in very different paths, and we were an unlikely pair, and together through our bonding and our friendship, again, exemplifying the power of true mentorship, right? We became formidable pair, and I thank you immensely for that. Finally, I want to thank my family. I know that they are far off in Chicago, but they are a support system through it all. And we could not have done this without their support, even from many, many miles away. But again, Professor Ali, this has been a memorable experience, and I hope I made you proud. You certainly will have a special place in my heart and mind moving forward, and I know I will always be able to count on you, and that is the true beauty of a relationship such as this one, is to be able to create relationships of trust and collegiality in service of students in our educational system. So thank you, everyone, and march on with the calling of equity, which requires a lot of work and a lot of heart.
Congratulations, Dr. Rubalcaba, and thank you. We turn now to our next graduate that we're recognizing, Dr. Florentino Ubungen, and his chair, Dr. George Arganier.
So on behalf of the committee, it's Dr. Camacho, Dr. Gonzalez. I'm honored to introduce Dr. Tino, who wrote a dissertation entitled Kapwa, a Qualitative Study on Filipino-American Male Community College Students. Tino has written a very sophisticated dissertation that explores the intersection of race, class, and the educational experiences of Filipino-American students in the US. In this work, Tino examines the educational consequences of the political category AAPI, that is Asian American Pacific Islander, and the ways in which this category conceals the specific experiences of working class Filipino American students with racial dehumanization. I think for all of us in the committee, what's most impressive about Filipino's work is his incorporation of indigenous Filipino concepts to write against both reactionary and liberal understandings of colonized people and their methods of resistance. Florentino's work sheds fresh light on what we know about race, but also how we go about knowing. That is, Florentino has called into question the role of knowledge production in processes of racialization. And he's done so in a way that has real life consequences and will have a real life impact in the work that he's doing. So on behalf of the committee, let me just say, Dr. Camacho, Dr. Gonzalez, and myself, we're all very honored to be a part of your team, and we all want to congratulate you.
Thank you, George. I had the Kango ready, so I was waiting for the Kango to come, but I got it. I
got you one right here.
So, first and foremost, I want to thank my committee. I want to thank George, Dr. Camacho, Professor Gonzalez for supporting me and believing in me through this dissertation. I want to dedicate this dissertation study to my late uncle, Norman Ubungen, who passed away recently. And, rest in peace, Unc. I love you. I also want to dedicate this to my grandmother, my Nana. He's right over here, and she's gonna hood me. Maybe she should hood me now. Should I hood me now? So maybe, okay, let's get.
Go for it. That's you, doctor now.
Hey, thank you. Again, I want to thank. There's a lot of people I want to thank. I want to thank Dr. John Mosby for believing in me. Professor Dan McDonagh for believing in me. I want to thank the cohort for everything you've done. My brother from another mother, Christian Rubalcaba, Dr. Christian Rubalcaba, thank you so much for being there for me when I wanted to quit this program and drop out. But again, thank you. I thank my fam, thank everyone that's watching, my folks at UP, my dude Ed Espanol, who's out there watching as well, and everyone around the world. Cheers. Hey, and have a blessed day. Thank you so much.
Yay. All right, Tino.
Amazing. Congratulations, Dr. Ubungen, and thank you to Dr. Arganier for your presentation. We turn now to our final graduate of this cohort, Dr. Julie Yick-Koppel, and her chair, Dr. Maria del Rosario Zavala.
You know, Julie being a Yick-Koppel and me being a Zavala, we're used to being at the end of the alphabet. We're going to close this out strong. So Julie brings a long career, over 18 years in education internationally as well, and she has a focus on youth engagement and empowerment through ethnic studies. It's also in the backdrop of the struggle for ethnic studies that Julie took up her dissertation work. The title of her dissertation is Ethnic Studies and Creating Transformative Change in California Schools. This year, she spent a lot of time connecting with, scheduling and carrying out multiple interviews with about a dozen teachers and teacher leaders in ethnic studies across the state, including people based in school districts, people based in schools from all across California. Drawing on these interviews as well as sample curricula that her participants shared, she's seeking to answer these timely questions. How do ethnic studies teachers conceptualize their teaching? And what are some of their core pedagogies? How do their pedagogies provide opportunities for students to develop critical consciousness? And her final question, what types of support and training are important for ethnic studies teachers, will hold implications for policy as well as professional learning for ethnic studies teachers, which is an area in much need of research. With school closures due to COVID, Julie had an excellent plan to do a study inside of some classrooms, and she had to pivot. And I will say she pivoted and adapted to the situation with a lot of grace and a lot of confidence that people who know Julie know is a trademark of how she works. Julie, I've just been really in admiration of your passion, your self-advocacy, as well as how fiercely you fight for social justice. So congratulations to our very own soon-to-be Dr. Yick-Koppel.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zavala. And thank you everybody who's here. This is such an exciting and momentous day. I would like to thank my mother and my father and my Aunt Judy and my life partner, David, for all of their incredible support over the last few years and lifetime. I have a lot of educators in this family, and thank my late grandmother and my grandparents who were immigrants and sacrificed for each generation, and I stand on their shoulders. I also want to thank this incredible cohort. We've been like familia for the last 3 years through all the ups and downs, and I'm so inspired by your leadership, your friendship, and your deep commitment to equity and social justice and racial justice. I also want to thank everyone on my committee. Again, Dr. Maria Zavala, from the first time we met in Oakland through class together, thank you for your mentorship and generosity and guidance. I'd also like to thank Dr. Brad Fogo for all of your incredible support with curriculum and instruction. Brad and I have known each other for around 12 years. And also Dr. Marcos Pizarro from San Jose State, who just thank you, Marcos, for your generosity and bringing your mentorship and leadership and deep knowledge of the field of ethnic studies. And thank you to all of our incredible professors for inspiring us, Dr. Henderson, our program director, Dr. Goldfein, and my colleagues from Mountain View, muchísimas gracias por estar aquí. Thank you for being here. My amazing students for inspiring me every day, past and present, and my many friends, including my soul sister Iris, Morgan, and so many in the familia. So thank you very much. Congrats, everyone.
Congrats.
And now my family will hood me. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Congratulations, Dr. Yick-Koppel, and thank you, Dr. Del Rosario Zavala, for your kind words. Well, we have reached the end of this part of our ceremony, and so I give a giant congratulations to the entire graduating class of 2021, doctors all. I am so pleased to be here. I'm so pleased to have been able to see this event unfold. Congratulations all. We turn now to the final part of our program, which is a spoken word piece by Dr. Florentino Ubungen, that will be accompanied by a slideshow of photos that the cohort has collected over their 3-year journey within this doctoral program. So congratulations again and goodbye.
To start, I would like to take a moment of silence for everyone we've lost during this pandemic and through this interesting time. Thank you. Martin had a dream. We all have dreams. To the cohort of 2018, this started as a dream. Before this ceremony, before your defense, before you submitted the application, we all dreamed of a way to make a systematical change, a way to inspire the brain, no matter what color, what race, or what face it belonged to. It feels like a galaxy far, far away when 21 travelers met in the city by the bay, where we pushed to think beyond what our teachers told us, and we were welcome to the matrix. Only 18 chose the red pill to make that transformative voyage, and we're told to trust the process. Even though at times we were obsessed with finding the answers, we were all left to dream. Dream of making a change, creating a voice for the voiceless, stopping the hate and spreading the love. Not just any love, that Whitney Houston, I will always love, that heat wave, always and forever love, that earth, wind, and fire reasons kind of love, that I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly speak kind of love. Yet when we got woke, we started to ask ourselves, like the Black-Eyed Peas, where is the love? And Malcolm said that this isn't a dream, but an American nightmare. And we found ourselves asking, like Marvin, what's going on? Because when we turned on the TV, there were far too many mothers crying and brothers dying. And when we looked to the president, we all thought, shit, someone is lying. We all found ourselves in a pandemic in such a delicate space, like a pomelo, to where we looked to theory to make sense of this madness. Tending to the wounds of social media, social unrest, social turmoil, society told us not to go chasing waterfalls, but to stick to the rivers and lakes that you're used to. But maybe, like Michael said, it's just human nature. Or maybe we didn't want the water to run dry, but we pushed against the established to transform, evolve, to create a lens from within so that someday, in some way, equity and social justice, peace, love can win. Where doves don't cry, and the revolution doesn't need to be televised, where we all share that same love while pulling on heartstrings. As a people, we all can rise up. If Malcolm had a nightmare and Martin had a dream, maybe as a people, as doctors, as leaders, we can help the world meet in between. Thank you so much. Stay blessed and have a great day. Thank you.
Congratulations, everyone. Congratulations to the graduating class of 2021. Doctors all.
Is this where y'all get to unmute and make noise now?
Yes.
Yeah. Go 2018 cohort.
Yeah. We did it, y'all. Congratulations, everyone. Congratulations, everybody. Yeah. I'm the party.
What it do? What it do?
Hello. We'll turn on the camera.
Come in on the 12th. 12th.
Cohort F20. Class of 20.
That was amazing.
Congratulations. Congratulations, everyone.
Andrew, your mic still isn't working.
We did this.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations, everybody.
Hello?
Andrew, we can hear you.
You can hear me? Hey! I want to thank everyone. I want to thank my wife. I want to thank my kids. Girls, they can hear us now. Come over here. Come over here. My family, my colleagues who are watching. Hey! Come on, thank you. Quickly.
Congrats, Andrew. We love you and your family.
Yay! Thank you. Congrats,
Can we all turn our cameras on? Let's take a group picture, y'all. We can't start our videos. Whoever's technical, can you guys turn on the cameras, please? Where's permission?
Yeah, everyone turn your camera on.
Yes. Can you enable the cameras? We're not able to start our videos anymore.
Can you help us with that?
There we go.
Yeah.
Let me see.
No.
Let me see.
Still can't enable cameras.
Wait, my camera still can't come on.
There you go.
All right. Let's see.
Nope, still can't do it.
Wait, Ellen can do it.
Oh, you're there, aren't you?
Oh, we can't turn our cameras on.
I know, mine either.
Only the professors have it. It's fun.
Hello, Dr. Shoulder. You graduated.